everybody. My name is Mitchell.
Hi, I'm Bill.
This is Magic City's podcast meetup.
Yes.
Still doing it online. Eventually, maybe one day we'll go back in person. I know we keep saying that, but we don't do it. But we'll see. We are located at Books, Beans, and Candles in Birmingham, Alabama, and today we're going to talk about the Magic City.
Yeah. Which is one of Birmingham's nicknames. So.
Right. So 1920s, I believe.
1900 actually.
1900.
Yes, it was named the Magic City because of the industrialization.
Right.
And how fast the city expanded.
Right.
But let's talk about some stuff we got coming up, Mitchell.
Yeah, let's do. First thing we got is coming up is Scott is going to have his full contact tarot class.
Yes.
That's I believe a 6-hour intensive class. It's on August the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
You can call the shop or message us and find out all the details and the cost and the results with that.
Absolutely.
We do still do tea and tarot every month. That's at 6:30, the first Friday here at the shop.
Yep.
That is free.
It is.
So we
it's
do
a
that.
Great learning opportunity.
We show you different spreads and we drink tea and all that's included. So it's a great time and people come together and we practice reading cards.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Of course, the big thing coming up is going to be September 30th, and that's going to be our psychic fair.
Yes. I'm really excited about that.
We've been doing this a long time. This was like year 17.
Yeah, something like that.
That's like insane. We've been doing this so long. But we're going to have special guest Ellen Dugan. We'll have all different kinds of divinations and disciplines. So it's not just tarot, but it's also runes. It's Ogham. It's going to be sortilege or throwing the bones.
Ancestry divination.
Ancestor readings, divination. There's going to be or photography, astrology.
Yep.
You think of not what I'm doing.
Exactly.
And of course, there's going to be henna, and there'll be popcorn, and cotton candies. So it's a very fair-like thing. And
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
they're 10-minute readings only for $15. I will say it does sell out every year. We start at 10 a.m. to go to 6 p.m. It's one day only.
Yeah.
So call the shop.
Yeah, booking is available now. So
Right.
Definitely come by, call, or message to lock in your spot.
Yeah, you can reserve it, and that way you got your time set up. So
Absolutely.
we do it a little different than most psychic fairs. And we really discovered a great way of doing things, and it just,
If it works, don't fix it.
yeah, it's this works really well. Everything runs like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Other than that, I think that's the main things that are coming up.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
I don't either. So let's talk about the Magic City. Let's talk about, obviously let's talk about the big first thing, Vulcan.
Yeah.
The largest bronze statue in the world.
53-foot iron statue.
Oh, that's right, it's iron.
Iron statues made from red iron ore iron ore on Red Mountain.
Yep.
It was conscripted by an Italian gentleman named artist named Gillespie, who made it to represent Birmingham and Alabama for the 1904 World's Fair.
If you ever get a chance to go up to the museum, they have a museum up there too. It's really interesting going through that and reading all about it. And,
Absolutely.
And a little thing people don't, older people would probably know. Vulcan originally had a spear.
He did. Well, he's had several things over the years. And he
well,
wasn't originally put on top of Red Mountain.
No, he was not.
He has had a road cone that used to be red for bad traffic day.
Oh, that's actually someone died on the interstate.
Uh-huh.
So I used to, when I was coming down here in college and everything, you look up, there's Vulcan, either it was green or red.
Yep, green represented no deaths on the interstates, and red, someone had passed away. He has held an ice cream cone.
I have not seen that one.
Things I found out when researching Vulcan. He was taken down in 1999 for 4 years because there's concrete poured at the base to give him an anchor.
Right.
And the contracting and expanding concrete started causing the base to crumble, so they took him down, refurbished him, and put him back up in 2003.
Yeah.
He was originally going to be in, I believe it was in where Lynn Park is now.
Yes.
But the nice ladies of society of the time, because apparently that's where the more affluent neighborhood was in that time period, they did not feel that the bare buttocks of Vulcan looked pretty to see out their parlor windows. So that's why he is where he is.
And they changed the angle of him. They put him back.
Yeah.
So, yes.
The big joke is, yes, we know Vulcan is mooning homewood. We know.
Yes.
That's not that funny anymore.
Yeah, that's all. So, there's Vulcan. Of course, Vulcan represents,
the forge.
The forge, the Roman god.
He was a lot like I can see him in from American God and everything, but he was a lot like Hephaestus.
Yes.
He was,
It was the Roman version of Hephaestus.
Yes, and
Not quite as ugly.
No, but the creativity, that metalworking, that
That bonding, that creation of
almost
one thing.
almost an alchemy.
I'll say it's the alchemy flair. I'm taking these things and I'm producing this out of it.
Right. Because those were your skilled craftsmen. Those were your artists back then.
Yeah.
And so it kind of has a representation of both the city and the way things were going at that time. But it's like, why did they choose Vulcan? Why not just something?
Well, the iron ore.
It was the iron ore, yeah.
But it's interesting because it brings us to the whole point of the Magic City.
Right.
Now the term, is most people go, okay, the Magic City was coined this because it was this or this because the iron industry.
Right.
Because Birmingham is one of the few places that has everything you need to make steel.
Yes.
We didn't have to import anything.
Correct.
So everything was here.
You had the limestone, you had the iron ore, you had all the parts.
Coal.
And you had coal.
Forges. So we have everything here to do it. And that gave an advantage. Of it. Of course, it made the city so horrible for a long time in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, after a while, the steel industry declined and Birmingham became known for the medical hospitals here. But it's interesting that you go around and you look at the different places throughout Birmingham that really lend toward the magic side of things.
Are you referring to places such as George Ward Park?
George Ward Park, and of course George Ward also Vestavia.
Yeah. So George Ward was mayor of Birmingham from 1905 to 1908. Yep. He was a commissioner on several committees, which later, became like almost kind of like a city council kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he was really instrumental in getting women and children involved in community awareness and community beautification. And basically his philosophy was, if you see a bare spot, plant something there. He wanted trees and plants.
Which is how we became known as the city of trees.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, what's so special about him? Well, his home is located in what is now Vestavia, after Vesta. And it's like, okay, that's a little odd. When you go look, it's like, wait a minute, there's statues. Now, he was influenced by his travels through and the Greek and Roman architecture, but a little odd to kind of have I wouldn't say temple, but I would say.
Well, I mean, his house was a Roman temple, basically, and so of course Vestavia Hills is its full name, but he the one coined that name.
Yeah, he did.
And later on, a church did buy it and tear everything down but one wall.
Mm-hmm.
But they left the Temple of Sybil.
They left the Temple of Sybil, and which is now used as a small celebration venue for things like birthday parties, weddings, and you can rent it, or for private events, or you can go and photo shoots and stuff. But it has that classic look of
the Roman columns,
the Roman columns. Oh, absolutely. And
all white.
And you're like, okay, Temple of Sybil. Who's Sybil? So Sybil was actually a category, not a person. Sybil is the Latin word for like prophetess, oracle. So when you think of like the Oracle of Delphi, she would technically be considered, or they would technically be considered as a Sybil. Most famously, the Sybil of Cumaea. But yeah, so it's like, okay, so you have this, progressive, the specific spot for someone who is, predicting the future, and it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of
makes you sort of go, who was this guy?
Yeah, what was this guy? And interestingly enough, after he had passed away, his family got rid of a lot of his personal papers, but, and I read this morning, they have found 24 overstuffed scrapbooks of George Ward's full of newspaper clippings from that time.
Oh, wow.
Of stuff and community stuff that was going on that he saved. And they're going to be put on display. And I'm like, okay, that's really kind of a neat looking blast of the past.
It is. And, here, and I recommend that you Google it, Earth it, Google Map it.
You can
use a satellite version.
Or you can just do Google Image. But
Google Image. He designed George Ward Park, which is actually in Birmingham, not Vestavia.
Correct.
And if you look at it, the way he designed the softball fields,
All 5 of them.
all 5 of them, and the hedge that he put around them makes a undeniable interval.
With a what is now looks to be a pavilion / bathroomy looking thing in the center, but I do believe was originally a fountain. If you look at the like 1979
It was a fountain.
1979 photo, so you got to remember George Ward, 1905, 1908 mayor. There wasn't aerial photography. You couldn't see it from the air, so when you're just walking around, oh, this is a very cool little walkway, neat little paths, and little stone benches at the edge of each one of these. You look at it from the air, that is a working circle with 5 altars.
Yeah.
That's what that is. There is no denying that's what that is.
That was pretty humorous, because you're looking going,
absolutely.
huh. Again, it makes you sort of go, who was this guy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Did he tend to have more of the pagan influences, or did he, I mean, hell, maybe he was. That's one of the things we don't know, because there's not enough information on it, because so much of his stuff was
Right.
thrown
We
away.
don't know for certain what was going on, but we can go, okay, we see these influences that he had. He was definitely metaphysically influenced, if nothing else.
He may have been an occultist, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
But again, we won't know, and that's nothing you would have in a public record, or anything,
Absolutely
especially during
not.
that time period.
Because that was the time of year looking at, that was the same time as Crowley, as Gardner.
Was there a connection there?
Absolutely.
I personally believe there was. I have no proof, obviously, backing it up. Just you look at everything going on that he touched and everything he did, and it's like, man, that really has some serious influences of occultism.
It does, and I look at maybe some of the things that we have that are growing here in the Birmingham area were as a result of George Ward, because we have a lot of things.
Well, minimum, at least it was esoteric.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about some of those things. All right, so if you want to know, we have Liberty Park.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Statue of Liberty. It's a miniature one there.
Right.
It's probably about 100 foot.
Probably. Well, no, probably. Yeah, probably.
It's pretty. It's not compared to obviously Ellis Island. Alabama Power, the power company here downtown has the goddess Electra.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where that's not a goddess from any pantheon.
Right.
Here's a statue of a woman holding a lightning bolt. We have in 5 Points South, which is where we're located,
right
at the top of that point, the 5th, we have a fountain that was done by Fleming, and it's
the
storyteller, which is Pan.
Telling stories to all the animals in front of the pond.
In front of a church, which the church was not happy, by the way. They actually try to fight, a lot of places try to fight to keep that from coming in, but he won.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it because he's done things similar in Atlanta. And so it's sort of like, with that backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think he won that on just because the city didn't want to seem that they were not being progressive like Atlanta.
Right. I mean, so you have I'm talking about things that are growing here. Things like, Datura will grow here.
Oh, definitely. We are in one of the best growing temperate zones in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We do as long as you don't have to have cold.
Correct.
Which, unfortunately, your mandrakes,
and
definitely your wolfbane.
I was going to say, definitely your wolfbane.
Aconite definitely likes that, like a peach, it has to have a certain amount of cold time.
Correct.
And it can't handle the heat.
No.
So.
Now, some of these plants are fickle, but things like wormwood.
Oh, man, it grows great here.
Hellebore. That's the one. I know hellebore because it's growing. It used to be growing in the driveway.
Yeah. We didn't plant it.
It just was there.
It had several.
Your morning glory. So there's a lot of
deadly nightshade grows great here. Your belladonna, tropa, great.
Thorn apples. Datura.
Yeah, Datura is your Jemison weed. That's your thorn apples. Brugmansia. So your angel's trumpet, which is the version because Datura is going to be your devil's trumpet. Brugmansia is your angel's trumpet. These big long flute-looking flowers.
Right.
Your
foxglove.
Thank you. That's where I was too. I was going. I can't think of. Foxglove grows great here.
Yep.
Got to keep it watered because it does get the heat and
the humidity gets to it. But
get to it. But
so we have all these things. We're in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains.
Yes.
So and we have a lot of influences just culturally. We have a lot of esoteric or metaphysical influences because of our geographic location.
Yeah.
We have everything, we have African influences in,
and just, in the more recent decades,
Mhm.
and I mean, talking back, 50 or 60, we have, Huntsville, which has NASA as the arsenal. So you're bringing in people from all over the world.
Yeah.
So you're bringing those cultures in. We have a huge medical, which really kicked off, in the 80s. So we have some of the largest and best hospitals.
Right.
So now you're bringing in all those people from around the world, because we're a research hospital.
Right, we're teaching hospital, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you have all these different influences, this hodgepodge of city. I mean, Birmingham has probably more restaurants than DC per capita.
Probably.
And we have, whether it's Russian, Jew, I mean, we have everything here. So we have a lot of different cultures here, and obviously that's going to influence,
Right.
Obviously the Irish influence, the Scottish influence here,
Right.
Is enormous.
You have a large, facet of Eastern European, as well as, whereas, we traditionally, and I think a lot of people when they're starting out on their magical or on their pagan path are finding information that's mostly written by folks that are in the British Isles.
Right.
But we have a large influence from around the world, everything from Russian, Polish, Middle Eastern,
India.
Oh,
China.
absolutely. We have all this stuff that's here, just sort of bubbling under the surface.
It's fantastic. We have all these different things to pull from, and you just got to think about, when you're coming to the city or you got to look at things, all these different places you can go to that have just this magical vibe, meaning 5 points galore, and I know a lot of cities have small 5 points. We have 5 points west, you have 5 points here, and we also, close enough to New Orleans, we have a huge influence of hoodoo.
We do.
And especially after Katrina.
Yeah.
Major influx of practitioners from New Orleans that were escaping.
Absolutely.
So we have a lot there, so we have, in this city, we have it.
Yeah. If you can't find it, you're not looking, because it's there.
Because we just have so many different things, and, I know we talked about George Ward, we talked about, Pan. It's just interesting. You can just go from one statue or one place to another and just see those, we'll go ahead and call them pagan influences in them, and just look and go, okay, where someone else may be oblivious to them, we're going,
that's a little suspect. That's a little suspect looking.
Yeah.
I wonder why that's there. Yeah.
And of course, we have a massive pagan population here.
We do. It has. I mean, you've been open since '97. I've been coming since '98, and the massive influx in people. It seems to have. It used to be a smaller, where you could pretty much know a majority of them. Now, there's people coming from everywhere.
2000, not 90.
I thought it was nice.
No, I opened in 2005, and then moved down into the used to be a Jewish halfway house built by the Irish.
Of course it was.
Yeah, and I opened the doors there in 2007, and then moved in this location in 2008. You came in 2007 when I was down the street. So yeah, so.
08, because
It
was 08.
Was it here when you came in?
No, it was right before you started looking at places.
Right, so we moved up in here. We bought this place in May of 08.
Yeah,
and moved in August 08.
I think we started coming in September of 07 or it might have been 07.
I thought, look, if you can, I'm pretty sure it was 07, but basically we've been open 17 years.
A while.
In Alabama.
Yeah.
Which
is saying something.
It is, and a lot of people know us now. We've been around doing a lot of different stuff. So this is definitely a place if you want to come in and and feel the magic. The city has it.
I think we kind of
change the name, Magic City. Come feel the magic. Should be a good phrase.
In places like Savannah, you can go on a lot of different tours and things like that. I think it would be really interesting. I don't know how well of a business venture it would be, but I think it'd be interesting to do a magic tour of Magic City.
Yeah, we have a ghost tour. Because of Sloss Furnace and some of those old steel mills and the jabs.
Absolutely.
But yeah, create a little magic thing and
absolutely. To do what and leave it up to your your interpretation. Which like we say when we're talking about George Ward and everything, we don't know because we can't talk to him. Right. But there is a high probability. It's up to your own interpretation you know, what was he a practitioner? Well, he was certainly influenced. I'll say that.
Yes.
You know, but I mean, to the different spots that are around and locally, not just in Birmingham, but a little bit outside of the Birmingham area, but in the metropolitan area. There's a lot here.
Yeah, it really is, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you should come visit.
Yeah, please do. All right, man, that's really it for the Magic City. Unless you think of something else right off the top of your head that, you know.
I can't think of anything other than to reiterate the Tea and Tarot first Friday of every month, and Skaji's full contact tarot 6-hour intensive,
August 19th,
and the Psychic Fair on September the 30th
from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And like I said, you should probably call and book that one.
Absolutely, I made a booking today because I was like, I want to get.
I don't know that I'm doing it. So.
Well, you're going to be here.
Yeah, I'll be doing the OM or photography.
You're doing all of this.
I am doing OM. I did it last time too, which is going to be Celtic.
I missed last year's because of work. That's why.
That's right. And so it's where I throw sticks, similar to throwing the bones, but these all have runes. Really, it's more like runes. But it's with the sacred woods of Ireland.
Yes.
So really cool and different symbols on it. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for again being with us here at Books, Beans, and Candles for the Magic City Pagans Meetup podcast.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next month. Thank you very much.